If you've always wanted to be the Tai Chi master, like Jet Li in the movie The Tai Chi Master, then here's your chance. Hi, I'm David Dorian Ross, and today's lesson is going to be the first movement in the Jet Li Cloud Hands 13 movement form. More about that right after this. So we're going to start today with the very first movement called Pung, or expanding energy. It's very often translated as ward off because we see kind of a defending or pushing away kind of motion here. But that's not really the translation of the movement. The translation of the movement is to expand. Pung. All right, this is what it looks like, then we'll break it down. That's it. That's the whole first movement. Some of you who have watched the old videos on the Tai Chi Zen YouTube page or the Tai Chi Zen website may notice that there is a difference in the footwork here. I'm going to be explaining what that difference is in just a second. But first, let's break down the basic footwork here. So we start with feet together, hands relaxed by your sides, and then the commencing form, Qi Shi, the left foot steps to the left and center. Now, just the footwork, because there's going to be a bit of a sinking, a relaxing down. It's not a full like squat down, it's just a little bit here. The weight then immediately shifts to the left foot, and the right foot begins to turn out 45 degrees. Place the weight down onto the right foot, and the left foot will step forward far enough to the diagonal to create a channel, then shift into your gongbu, your bow and arrow step. In the final position, the weight is 60-40, facing straight forward. And by the way, in the tradition of the old-fashioned movements of Tai Chi, this direction would be south towards heaven. Qian. That's the direction you do ward off into. Now, what the hands do is this. At the commencement here, the hands will float up, and then elbows leading, sink down. As you turn to the 45 here, and the weight shifting onto the right foot, the right hand will float up and then down again, wrist articulating, because it wants to come into a position next to the wrist of the left hand. So the left hand now has floated up to create this rounded shape here where we get the ward off position. It's kind of like holding your shield out in front of your body here. It's rounded, no sharp angles from the shoulder through the elbow down to the wrist and even fingertips. And the right hand has come right next to it. Master Wang Junhai actually does touch a little bit here, but there are many other styles and forms where the fingers almost but not quite touch there, so it's okay to have a little space in there. That's the way I do mine. As you form this position then, the left foot has touched down, and as you shift into your bow step, the waist turns from the corner, rounding out to straight ahead, shifting, sinking, expanding, all the way through. The Cloud Hands 13 movement form was commissioned by Jet Li and was his concept of providing what he called the ABCs of Tai Chi, a routine, a form that could be studied by anybody regardless of style, regardless of background, to understand the basics of the movement and the basics of the principles behind the movement of Tai Chi. Then you could go on and study any other style from any other teacher and have a good foundation. The movements are also meant to be broken down one by one so that you could understand the whole concept, get all the pieces before going on to the next move. The left foot steps to the left. Center the weight. Both hands float up in front And then with elbows leading, everything sinks down and the body relaxes into the hips. The weight shifts to the left foot and the right hand floats up. Right foot turns out 45 degrees. The left hand floats up and the right fingertips come to meet the wrist. Shifting down into the left foot, expand forward. Pung. Now, let's talk about the difference in the footwork. There is actually two options, and the choice about which option that you decide on is really based on how much space you have to move around in. If you haven't got enough space to go forward and back, then what you can do is you can give yourself a little bit of a cheat by stepping back and then stepping forward. Don't worry, this won't change the overall ending up spot of your routine. It just starts you out. If you've got enough space in front of you here, you simply pivot onto the right foot, step forward. But if you don't have a whole lot of space, after you pivot to the right, before you put the weight down onto the right foot, step back to create an empty step here, and then step forward with the left foot, and that will wind you up in about the same place as you're opening the door commencement position, which means that you're pretty much staying in the same spot the whole time. And that's a little bit of a cheat for you. Anyway, that's the movement. Pung, ward off. Week by week, what I'm going to do is go through all of the movements of the 13 form. I want to say thank you to all the people who did give comments and wrote me and gave me a lot of positive feedback on the 13 form full routine that we posted last week to the beautiful music of this Mexican folk song, La Leyenda de la Llorona, the legend of the weeping woman. It is such a beautiful song, and thank you for saying that you really enjoyed the full performance of the routine. Now you can learn that routine too, and at the end, you'll be just like Jet Li. Anyway, that's my lesson for the day. Thanks for letting me share that with you. I'll see you in the next video. Hi everybody, it is David Dorian Ross from the YouTube Tai Chi Academy, where I'm using the cinematic arts to teach the martial arts. I just wanted to remind you that I do put up new lessons 5 times a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of them. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.